Hello everybody, and today I've got something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be doing an in-depth review of someone else's gameplay, and what this means is I've got a friend's gameplay here I've taken from his file share, and he gets a good score, but it's slightly let down by too many deaths. So what we're going to do is just basically analyse everything as we're going along. So first off here, we're going to have a look at the starting routes the teams take. So when starting a game in TDM, I certainly recommend going in an opposite or different direction to the rest of your team. As you can see here, the whole team with the green runs south down the map, and the whole red team runs north around the map, basically meaning that no one sees anyone, and therefore you don't get the first blood very easily. Jumping back into the gameplay, now that he's run all the way around to the back of here, he gets himself and finds himself at the back of this shelf. Now, to his credit, he notices the claymore go off, and works out from their point that there's someone up there. But he and his whole team charge up onto this ledge. Now, I would absolutely totally recommend never going onto this ledge in a game of TDM, because this is one of the most trafficked spots, or one of the most obvious spots in the game, on the map, sorry. So you're really not going to want to be up here. Now he tries to pick up and throw away the grenade, but unfortunately he gets taken down, and that's going to be the main flaw. That shelf is a grenade magnet. So the gun he's using in this particular gameplay is the Galil with the ACOG scope. Now, I wouldn't recommend using the ACOG scope or ACOG scope, wherever you want to pronounce it, on any of the assault rifles in this game, simply because you can get a more accurate effect from the reflex sight, and that's just personal preference from me, really. So he's back on the ledge, and unfortunately this is something that he repeats throughout this particular game. He seems to work around to this ledge, and with a number of his teammates that are also up here, he just basically sits on this ledge and avoids grenades for as long as he can. He chooses not to steal the last chance kill here, which is credit to him, and he's using the ACOG scope to his advantage, so he's got a little bit more range. And he is changing out to a secondary weapon. He's changing out a secondary for another assault rifle, giving him more options, which is a very good tactic to use. He gets a very nice Semtex kill there after he knows he can't shoot the guy because he's hiding. So he set himself up on this ledge. His teammates are all spawning behind him, so he's looking in the wrong direction at the moment here. He's looking and waiting for people before eventually turning around and looking back towards the map. So with jungle and with the system and way in which this particular game spawns, he gets a nice kill here, but unfortunately doesn't notice that there's other people on that shelf as well. He's basically focused on the first kill, and his shots give him away. So he's running, as his kill streaks are, I believe, before I've finished watching the video, he's running 3, 5, and I want to say 9, but it could be 7. So he's running spy plane and care package, and then one of the choppers. And instantly he's spawning back in. He tends to run around to this particular area here. Now, as we can see here, something crazy is going on with this ladder, and he's failing really hard to climb a ladder. So let's have a look at that again. So this is the fail of the game. For some reason he can't climb the ladder for a long time, and just fails really hard. And because of his desire to get up onto the shelf, he doesn't notice the red dots that were around him, and he finds himself being a grenade magnet once again. And although he survives all of the grenades, he bizarrely in a second chooses to switch his secondary out and pick up a 74U that's on the floor. So he's currently holding off. He's currently got the red dots to his array. He's currently being able to hold things off. You see he picks up a 74U here, and now he's got red dots on the map. He knows they're nearby. Rather than changing back to his ACOG and using the range, he tries to use the 74U. Now, it's a bit of a strange decision, and it does cost him, because he's unable to make the kills, which he might have got if he was using his assault rifle. So he's playing it careful, he's playing it slow, and he's just getting loads and loads of tags, put people into last chance, second chance. I hate the fact that it's different in this game, it keeps going to make me really confused. So he's holding up on here, waiting for his team to come round, and his team are pushing around, but his team overall is losing, and it's possibly because they're focused on getting onto the shelf. Now his teammates died behind him. He turns around again. Once again, he tries to take on someone at range, and shows no awareness foul, because if you can see on the UAV, there's a dude right next to him, and unfortunately it sticks him with the crossbow. I'll have a look at that from the point of view. So he's standing right out in the open, firing blindly down the long range, while this dude's just here for the whole time, appearing on his UAV with the shots that he fired already. So after he's died, he spawns back in and throws out his care package, which he just picked up at the end there. And he gets, I don't know, personally I think it was unlucky because he gets Valkyrie rockets. And he decides to bring them straight in. To his credit, he takes the Valkyrie rockets at this point here and he does get a kill with each of them. But considering it's, I think it's a 7 or 6 kill streak, for 2 kills it's really poor effort. So he's kind of hard done by here. So he gets his nice 2 kills, he uses the 2 rockets. And I've no idea how in this particular instance he gets a kill because he hits the rock face underneath the shelf and kills someone. To come back out of this, you'll see he dies straight away. Let's just have a look at this from a different point of view. Let's see how the game has shafted him here. And you'll see at the bottom left, the red dude spawns just right in next to that area where he is. Comes out of his Valkyrie rocket, walks forward, straight in front of him. He had no chance. So that was a bad spawn from the game there, costing him a cheeky death. So he spawns back in. This time he's back at his ideal shelf and he pushes straight back onto it. And as I've said once before, this is not a tactic I'd recommend. I certainly wouldn't recommend putting a claymore up this high. The claymore should be on the bottom in the bushes because it's more effective down there. So he's walking around looking for people to shoot at. He knows they're on this ledge opposite him. He waits for him to come out and he uses his assault rifle effectively to kill him. Unfortunately, what starts to happen now is that once again his teammates have all put up onto the shelf, they're all lying down, and he steps out and basically gives himself a kill. This is the second thing you need to look out on this ledge, is how obvious you are. So this dude's camping on this bridge over here, he looks up at the ledge, sees the gunfire, and then he steps straight out into the open, literally gifting him a kill. There is no other way to put it, he absolutely gifted him that kill. So moving around again, he spawned back in behind the ledge, and for the first time he doesn't run straight back up into the shelf. He pushes to this end looking for the people around. Now he shows another awareness fail because there are people in the background on the UAV, and he just steps out into the open. So he takes his time, takes an approach and tries to grab a few kills. Unfortunately he loses the guy in second chance behind the rock and isn't quite able to pick up the kill straight away. But he ends up getting it. Now if you can see from the map, his whole team is now spawned at the other side of the map. There's been a complete switch on the spawns, and unfortunately, as he's running around, you'll see here in a second that he's on his left on his own, his teammates start dying around him, the spawns switch, and then he ends up getting absolutely swarmed. So he just gets a bit unlucky there, and he's unable to deal with it because he's just completely surrounded.
Enemy spy plane incoming. Enemy RCXD spotted.
So he's changed class now. This is the decision he's made. He's decided that the Galil's not working for him. He's now switched to the FAMAS. He's still using Scavenger and Hardened, and I can't remember what the third perk is. But he pushes himself back, and this is another mistake. You never run down the middle of the map on jungle, because if the other team has set themselves off the shelf, that's exactly the area they'll be looking for you from. So he's working around, he's looking now to sort of get himself sorted out. He's working out where the enemy are, probably judging by the way in which in places that his teammates are dying. But he steps out behind this dude and gets a nice kill. And then there's a dude to his right, which is showing a massive awareness fail because he didn't see the gunshots and just carried on charging forward. So he's playing it slow now, waiting for his teammates to catch up, which is a good tactic. He's seen a couple of enemies in this area. Now he's got teammates here as well firing. So he's just looking to try and stack his kill streaks like he should be. His team's considerably far behind now. It's a 2,000 point difference. So he needs to, as a team, start to build some kill streaks. The enemy's been quite consistent with the spy planes. He sees a couple of guys on the shelf here, and rather than standing at the doorway and out in the open, he does back away nicely and grab a nice kill. Brings his spy plane in, and then looks around and sees that they're all swamping in behind him. And he throws a Semtex here, hopefully to cover and gets the tag. And then he's carefully moving forward. He's apprehensive, as you'd expect him to be, but he's moving forward onto this ledge, picking people off in the background as he comes. And then he uses this box to cover, he gets shot at, and just basically keeps himself playing calm, playing it slow, starting to build the kills, and it does so quite nicely and quite easily. Nice avoids a grenade there, sees him spawning behind him, spins around, and perfectly uses his UAV to his advantage, keeps himself alive. Now, in this point here, there's a guy in the background as well that's firing the Valkyrie. He could have easily picked up a second kill quite quicker. Sorry, bits quicker. But he spots him just here, and eventually gets him. And then, unfortunately, sprints through here to try and meet this dude head on, and ends himself up in a very lucky hipfire kill, probably aided by his hardened. And then, fortunately, he gets spammed by people that are attacking his position. So he's got his chopper gunner now. He's got a care package as well, so he's thinking about bringing it forward. But his team's now 1,000 points behind, so he's almost single-handedly brought the game back into the swing of things, and he brings in his chopper gunner. So jungle is one of the best maps for air support, especially if the enemy isn't shooting it down instantly, because it will mean you get a few more kills, because there's very few places you can hide. So it takes a few seconds for him to hone in on their spawn, as their team is split 50-50 at the moment across the map. But after he starts picking off a few of them, he starts shooting very close to his own position where he's lying down, and he gets very lucky not to do any damage to himself as he fires on and around his current position. And he also gets very lucky that the enemy that are around there didn't notice where he was lying down. So he's homing in on the red stars, using the chopper gun obviously as you'd expect him to, and racking up the kills and swinging the game back into his and his team's favour. So jungle is a very open map. The game's about to time out, and using the assault rifle, he's done very well to pick up as many kills as he has. But unfortunately, he died cheaply a few times, and hopefully I've pointed them out, and then you can see the mistakes that he made, and know not to make them yourself. He rushes forward trying to get the last couple of kills, because obviously it would be nice to finish the game on the score limit and not let it time out. But unfortunately, it doesn't quite get there. So it's a nice victory for him there. He turned it around by putting together a 1-kill streak towards the end of the game, picking up his chopper gunner and then bringing it in to win the game. And he finished 41-8, so he did very well. But unfortunately, those 8 deaths obviously let down the game a little bit, because they could have been avoided in a number of instances. And hopefully, this has been some useful tips and hints and in-depth review. And I hope you've enjoyed. Please leave a rate and leave a comment. Bye for now. If you've got a gameplay that's good but not perfect in your file share, would you like it broken down in a similar way to this? Please send us a message on Xbox to the gamertag gpemby, and I will check out your file share, have a look at your TDM video, and if it's good enough, or I like it, or I like the mistakes that you make, I might upload a video about you. Bye for now, guys.